All right, hello. So,
Hello.
today I'm with my friend, and we're going to be talking about trolling. So, yeah, do you have any just quick opinions about trolling, just as like a word? Like, how would you define it?
I would say they're kind of like parasites on the internet that try and discredit valid opinions
Okay,
with humor and genuinely just trying to like get that person or group of people pissed off.
okay. So, I mean, you were at least once upon a time a troll yourself, correct?
There was once such a time, yes.
Not really online, more in person, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Really
Because,
depends on the situation I was in when I was younger, but yeah.
well, we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I would say the definition of trolling isn't just online. I mean, obviously, the phrase we use as trolling has stemmed from people screwing with people online. But I mean, I think it could also apply definitely to in-person, screwing with people in certain ways and whatnot. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Take like a political rally and just people like bantering and trying to get the crowd like riled up
Yeah, or you're
politics talking about that sort of thing.
yeah, or you're at school, in high school or middle school or something, and you make a fun of a kid or something, like get him to think that I don't know the substitute teacher's name is Bend Over or something, right? So he starts calling him Bend Over. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would like to talk about sort of both of our past trolling um, experiences. So, if you wouldn't mind, just you don't have to be too descriptive, but obviously more detailed the better. So, if you wouldn't mind talking a bit about your past trolling in person, online, whatnot.
I mean, for me, it was more in person. Just like, let's say, like you meet someone, instead of telling them your name with like introductions, you'd be like, "Oh, my name's I don't know, Dio or something."
Well,
Just
I
saying
mean, what have you done, is what I'm
that.
saying. Like, can you think of some instances of what you've done to screw with people?
Uh, I got to think back for a second.
All right. Just because what comes to mind with you, um, just sort of
It,
like reckless, reckless, like breaking things and, more destruction, like to piss people off. That's kind of what I remember. I mean, you weren't really making fun of too many people, I think.
uh,
You really don't remember your past trolling?
no, not really.
Damn.
I mean, what is your definition of like this reckless trolling of mine?
I mean, I just remember you breaking stuff. Like when we went out in the woods and you had your little wasn't like it was like, with all that trash and stuff, you made that little fort and then oh, a better one. When we were walking
Okay.
down the street, right? And we got the bottle and then
Yes,
you
the bottom.
broke it and, and then the family was like, "You boys breaking bottles?" And we were laughing at them and stuff. You
Oh,
know?
that brings me back. I'm feeling nostalgic.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying though? Like,
Yeah, okay.
can
All
you?
right. So you want me to reminisce a bit about this one?
Yeah, like tell us a story or two.
Okay.
Spin a yarn.
So we were just walking down the street. I saw a bottle. I was like, hey, wouldn't it be an epic prank if I just break this?
Mhm.
I went through my head, but I was just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I broke this? It'd be a good gag,
Yeah.
make everyone laugh, maybe piss a couple people off, whatever. Broke the bottle. we were like, haha, yeah, broken bottle, whoa. And then a couple people down the was it like one guy, couple houses down, he was like, hey, you guys breaking bottles? And he told us to come over, and we were just like, oh, and just walked away. That was my mindset with that whole
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, we were laughing at him and stuff, we're like, oh, haha, this guy got so pissy because we broke a bottle. I mean, it was in the street and it was glass, you know. He was outside with his kids and we were running around in the yard, So,
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense now in a more adult perspective, but, we didn't really care.
yeah, we were monkey brain kids at the time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my past trolling, I mean, mine was definitely more in person than online. I wasn't really an online person until relatively recently. So yeah, like me, I would make fun of a lot of people and stuff like that, and definitely screw with people. And I would very easily be able to find, like, even if it was a new person I just met, like, be able to find out how to push their buttons and then see how far I could go, and then keep going. I mean, you agree with that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I think for both of us, I don't want to speak for you. I'll let you say what you want, but I mean, with the way that I acted with my in-person trolling was from a inside pain, you know, like I felt bad on the inside and I pushed it onto others onto the outside, you know. So I would assume it was something along the lines, same lines with you, correct?
No, not really. It wasn't me like just like trying to like mess with people. It
Really?
was just like, yeah, I don't know, trying to make people like laugh, break something or whatever, do something stupid,
Um,
mess with some people, makes a couple people laugh, gets other couple people pissed off.
So you were doing it more so out of attention.
I guess, yeah.
So why did you want that attention?
I don't know, I enjoyed making people laugh.
I mean, did you feel like you felt like that's what you had to do for attention? Like you had to act stupid and whatnot?
I mean, to a certain degree with like certain people, I guess, yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's nothing along the lines of your parents or something, you know, not giving you enough attention or just making you feel bad so you would make somebody else feel bad, nothing like that.
No, no, not at all.
Really? Because that's not how I took it, perceived it, without getting too in detail about your life story, but, you know. If that's how you perceive it, then yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. It's your life.
Maybe
uh,
it can down to some of those things. I never really analyzed it like in depth, but
I mean, that's what we're kind of doing here. We're talking about the sort of mindset and the philosophy, the uh, of trolling. Like your personal philosophy is what I want to talk about here.
okay, okay. I mean, wow, okay.
Yeah, just think about it for a second if you have to.
No, I mean, I got attention from my parents when I was younger, so I don't think it like stemmed from that.
I mean,
I
there
think
has to be a reason to act like a little shit. Like, you know,
it was more so to just make like the group of people I was with to laugh and maybe piss a couple other people off who weren't a part of that group.
but why do you think it was good to piss people off?
Oof.
Like, what made it funny to make somebody feel bad? Like, I mean, we went on Omegle, a few times when we were younger and screwed with people and whatnot.
Yeah.
So there has to be a reason besides just blanket. I just want to make people laugh because obviously you're hurting people in the process. Where do you think that comes from, at least for you? In the past, we'll talk about more current mindsets after this.
Maybe it does stem from like not getting enough attention. But
I mean, I know you weren't exactly close with your parents, you know? I mean, neither was I.
this is something I've really never like completely like analyzed myself. It's not something I do anymore. Like I don't really like.
Well, it's good to self analyze, past
Yeah,
and
yeah, 100%.
present.
I feel like it's just something I grew out of, and like I just never like really looked into.
Yeah.
I obviously should.
Yeah. I mean, um, just, I mean, do you feel like you were close with your parents back then? Because, I mean, it felt pretty confrontational between you and your parents back then. Your mom now is, you guys are great, well, at least from what I've seen. But back then,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely seemed like there was a lot of friction going on.
I mean, yeah. I mean, with my old man, like my stepfather, we never really like, got along or anything. We were always at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Never really knew each other. That sort of thing. I mean, me and my mom would talk, but
Because I mean, you weren't a bad kid, but you did things that you shouldn't have done as a kid. Like what do you think that reason is? Like besides the trolling, I feel like all these sort of negative traits as a kid sort of stem from somewhere. So I'm just trying to get at that. And then we'll get back to the trolling a little bit. I'm just trying to make you
I
think.
mean, what sort of negative things are we talking about?
Well,
Like,
like drugs and alcohol.
I mean, with the drugs and the alcohol, uh,
I
I
mean,
guess it was in with like certain people, and like I also like completely enjoyed it. It's not like anyone was forcing me to do it either.
no, I know, but like, obviously, I don't think. I mean, you weren't doing like a lot, but there were times where you were doing a lot. Nothing too crazy, but you still were doing a lot. Just even a few years ago.
Oh, I mean that if you're talking like just a couple of years ago, that was just from like mental anguish.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like if you did it a few years ago out of mental anguish, then
I
why
mean
were you?
that stuff before when I was like actually trying to like mess with people and like the trolling and stuff. That was stuff I specifically did when I was a child.
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at ultimately, what do you think your personal reason, aka, your personal philosophy is behind your acts of trolling. This is all what it's centered around. I'm just trying to get at it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I 100% get it. It's just something like I've never really like dug into.
Was there any sort of anger that you just want to put out there?
No, not really. Yeah. I mean, like when I was like really young and stuff, like talking like really young, I was like bullied a lot and stuff. Maybe it stems from that. Me trying to push that back outwards, but
Yeah, I do remember, you know, those sorts of things happening to you. So, I mean, that would make sense, sort of preemptive strike.
I don't know if it was like a preemptive strike sort of thing, but like
I mean, if you didn't like being bullied and then you sort of did those things, like, why would you do that? You know? I don't think a healthy, adjusted person would get bullied and then go, hey, I'm going to do the same thing.
I guess it was just me like not being able to process like all that and just trying to like redirect it.
What do you mean, all that? Just the bullying, or like bullying and your parents and stuff, or what?
Just a combination of everything. Like I just didn't have like an outlet when I was younger.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I mean, I think that's a good enough answer. I think we don't have to go think about this much more because, obviously it's a hard process to sort of self reflect and whatnot.
No,
Um,
I
s-
mean I don't mind doing it. Like I don't.
No, yeah, I'm just, obviously this is an assignment and, I don't want to waste her time, make this seem like, we could talk about this another time personally, but, so I'm going to move on. The next thing I wrote down was, do you do any sort of current trolling in any way?
No, not really.
Nothing at all.
No.
So why do you feel like you stopped?
But it was just nonsensical. I didn't gain anything from it. I was bringing other people's down.
Yeah.
It was really shitty behavior. And I just realized when I was pretty young, like, hey, I should cut this out. Like, it's affecting my relationship with others, friends I could potentially have, that sort of thing.
Around when do you think you sort of realized that?
I don't know, like midway through high school.
Okay. Do you feel like you're a better person for it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because I know you've definitely changed as a person from, middle school, high school to, around now. Um, I would say for myself, went through that same sort of thing. I realized, hey, I mean, I was much of a bigger uh, troller is a nice way to put it than you. But I thought that I'm being a toxic person, and because I did to everybody, as you know, you know, doesn't matter if you're a friend or not. Everybody's sort of got a piece, and I didn't want to be like that, and make people feel like garbage all the time. And I mean, as you know, I still have those tendencies, but it's definitely toned down, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah, 100%, man.
I would say currently, uh, especially with the coronavirus, um, I haven't really moved from my house. It's like, what is there to
I,
do? And you know me, I don't have a job right now. I'm just going to school full time because University of Rochester isn't exactly an easy school. Uh, and I've just sort of been playing video games that I've already bought, and I kind of
of course.
troll. I troll on there, I go on to Overwatch, over
Rockets.
yeah, Team Fortress 2, Rocket League. I just go on there and I just screw with people, and it's not really the upfront sort of trolling where it's like, oh fuck you, dude, you're a piece of shit, not something like that. I would say it's more so subtle. I would screw with people, subtly and get them to think things and do things, manipulating these people just to laugh at them to myself or, with my friends or whatever.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, it's something, harsh, but
Yeah, yeah. I
I'm just,
mean, like, I've seen it. It's pretty mild.
and, I think that stems out of boredom, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think that change between the sort of harsh trolling that came from an inward pain to a more innocuous trolling comes from boredom, you know? I think that's pretty interesting.
yeah.
I mean, is there any other sort of trolling that you can think of? Like any sort of types and where they come from? Where we could talk about they come from?
I mean, trolling every exists like everywhere where you have people with like a group of people with opinions or like anybody really.
Yeah, and I mean, when anybody thinks of a troll, they think of a basement dweller, lives with his mom, fat neckbeard guy, you know. But a troll can be anybody, and like I said, well, you think of a troll as like a loser who, just screws with people because nothing better to do with his life, and he's a sad person. But like I just said, I mean, I'm happy with my life right now. I have my own
Yeah, yeah,
apartment. I have a girlfriend. I have, better relationship with my parents. Going to a good school and whatnot. Have a good plan for the future. Only thing I don't have is money. And like I just admitted that I'm still trolling. I mean, but like I said, there are differences in the trolling that I used to do versus now. So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
could you speak to sort of what I'm saying, like this vision of trolling versus what trolling is?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, like real life trolling could just happen anywhere, like in the workplace, anywhere. Like someone messing with someone in a way.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily need to be online or like a particular group of people. It's just anybody
yeah,
trying to bring other people down, mess with them, manipulate them, do whatever. Like it's a really, really broad term.
yeah. And like I said, like I sort of take trolling as that can envelop bullying, screwing around, messing with somebody online, trolling for lack of a better word. Um, and I just think that it's sort of part of the human way, to screw with people, make fun of somebody, because like I don't think anybody has not made fun of somebody in their life.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
And I wonder why that is, you know. I wonder why that is. It's some weird social dynamic that we evolved into or something. I wonder if monkeys. I think monkeys mess with people, right?
Yeah, yeah. Steal banana, slap another monkey's titty.
Yeah, they play tricks on people and stuff. But
Maybe go with that.
I also have learned that monkeys don't have the ability to lie because they don't that we evolved into that. So like I'm wondering what the necessary need evolutionarily would be to troll people.
Do you think they just don't have the mental capacity to lie, or do you think it's just something that's just always going to be unique to humans?
It's just not they don't have the mental capacity. Like that's why it's hard for us to lie. Um because we evolved into it. It's not really something that we were necessarily designed for. Deception. Uh, you inherently. I mean, this is something This is another topic, that we could have talked about, but
All right,
it's
yeah, let's revert back to what we were
yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
like any pigeons.
yeah. So yeah, I'm just wondering, what would you say the evolutionary process would be? Like, why do we need to why do we inherently have trolling in a lot of people? Do you think it's more of a modern thing? Do you think it's
Maybe it's just to assert like dominance.
dominance, really? I think that's more so like classic bullying, you know? Because, like, um, I mean, I guess when I was younger, I mean, I was basically, that kind of trolling was basically bullying, depending on the person. I wasn't always a piece of garbage. Like, I wouldn't bully you guys, but I would definitely screw with you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
My friends. Um,
yeah. I think there's definitely a difference between like lighthearted, just like playing with, making fun of like a friend or whatever, in like a lighthearted way, and like trolling.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like,
Yeah,
it makes sense for classical bullying to assert dominance, but or, as an outlet, mixture of sort of both. But why do you think like, just out of boredom, I would maybe it's like a reversion of some sort, like I'm just bored and something I
I mean, it
used to
comes
do.
down to you. It comes down to you taking pleasure from that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I it's hard to tell you why it's funny to screw with people. Um, I'm just trying to get at. I mean, this is definitely a big topic, and
Yeah,
we're not gonna find the answer uh, right now. But I just wanted to see what you would
where
say.
we go. Yeah, yeah.
So, one of my last questions: do you think trolling is an art form of any kind?
I mean, there's definitely like a nuance to it,
There
which is
is.
a really weird way to explain trolling, giving
Yeah.
it way too much credit. But it's definitely fucking toxic. But, like, there's definitely like a way to do it and like a way to get like under people's skin with it.
Yeah. I
Some
mean,
people do it, some people don't know how to.
yeah. Because, I have seen many different kinds of trolling, going around the internet, especially. Um, because I've seen people who, it's very obvious that they're trolling. They don't have
Yeah,
that social, what's the word? Um, what's the word? Social,
awareness.
yes, 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 yes. They don't have that social awareness, like, oh, haha, I'm trolling, and then it ends up that their trolling sort of backfires because everybody makes fun of them for trying to troll, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would say some trolling is an art form. I mean, I don't want to do my own horn here or anything, but like I said, I am able to find out how to push people's buttons and sort of discover a person pretty fast, in certain ways, and that takes a certain amount of social awareness and ability to pull off, honestly.
And I
Um,
feel like in certain situations, it does have like a comical effect to it. Because
yeah,
like kind of like lightheartedly trolling your friends or whatever, you all laugh about it,
yeah,
whatever, all the time, that sort of thing. There are like different like degrees to it.
yeah, and I mean, it can also put off like confidence, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, I think um, spec- I'm this is gonna come off bad, like a blanket statement, but like I think women pick up a lot on confidence, and my sort of trolling past has sort of enabled me to have a more real social ability that I didn't have. Like that low self esteem to now, I think sort of stemmed from that trolling because of that
So,
social
so like
awareness.
social experience you got from trolling combined with the self confidence you have now,
Well, I think my self confidence, it was an artificial self confidence that I gave myself by putting other people down.
yeah, yeah,
And now that I've morphed it into a more healthy way, I mean, obviously, sometimes I can be more of a dick, but I'm a lot better than I was, and I think that sort of I was able to shift the scales. I went from that artificial fake confidence to higher confidence because of my ability to be sociable from the that stem from the trolling. You know,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, what would you say about that?
I mean, what is there to say about it? It is what it is to you.
I was just wondering if you had any other uh, comments on that, because I mean, I'm just describing what I think. I mean, I don't think I'm this one in a million person, or this god among men, or anything like that. But I think it definitely takes skill to efficiently troll people. I mean, and obviously I can reverse engineer that and obviously see that somebody's trolling a bit easier than some, and
And I mean, when you're trolling, like you said, like you have to like get to know a person. So you did develop those social skills from
yeah.
knowing them,
Yeah,
getting to
it,
know them.
it takes charisma. I think the way that I'm describing it takes more of a charisma, um, rather than like brute forcing your way, like just being, saying curse words and like, oh fuck you, dude, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So not to let that drag on too long. Um, is there any sort of closing statements that you would want to say, or anything that you felt like you learned or anything during our little interview? on the philosophy of trolling, like your personal philosophy, because that's what I wanted to focus this more on was like the specific people's uh, philosophy on things.
Uh,
Anything.
well, some stuff about me I didn't really look into that I probably should. I mean, my younger self, really, but still, it is a part of me.
No, yeah. I mean, as I just told you a whole bunch about my self reflection on my past self. I mean, if this stems into you, sort of learning more about yourself later on, I think that's great. I mean, we don't have to air it to my my professor, you know, but it's good that you have that seedling of a thought right now.
Yeah,
Anything else?
oh, Matthew really, really deserves that A.
Yeah.
Please give it
Yeah.
to him.
All right. All right. Thank you. Uh,
Thank you for choosing me for the interview. By the way, it was really cool doing
yeah.
this with.
It was
What was
a bit last minute. But I think it turned out pretty all right.
yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
So I appreciate it, and hope you have a good one. All right.
Yeah, good night, man.
All right.